The controversy surrounding the final journey of Zambia's late former president Edgar Chagwa Lungu has taken another dramatic turn as his family mounts a legal and emotional case against the Zambian government over what they describe as a state-inflicted ordeal. With emotions running high and legal tensions intensifying, the Lungu family has formally demanded that the Zambian state foot the bill for both the abruptly cancelled funeral in Pretoria and the mounting legal costs arising from what they claim is unjust interference in a private matter. The latest filings in the Gauteng Division of the High Court in South Africa reveal just how deeply fractured this issue has become, turning what should have been a solemn farewell into a public and politically charged legal battle. According to the court documents, the family, led by Lungu's widow Esther, his children Tasila, Dalitso and Chiyeso, his sister Bertha, nephew Charles Phiri, family lawyer Makebi Zulu, and funeral service provider Two Mountains, are united in arguing that the Zambian government's last-minute legal maneuver, executed just 2 hours before the scheduled funeral on June 25, 2025, not only derailed a carefully planned farewell but inflicted financial damage and emotional trauma. The family argues that this application, filed urgently by the Zambian state, was entirely unnecessary and represents a gross abuse of the legal process. Describing the government's action as an 11th-hour urgent application, the family highlights that the funeral was scheduled for the morning of June 25, and the state's legal move came with barely 2 hours' notice. The result was the abrupt cancellation of a private funeral in Pretoria that had already incurred substantial costs for venue arrangements, clergy services, transportation, security personnel, and undertaker logistics. All of this, the family notes, had been executed in alignment with the late president's wishes to be buried in South Africa, a wish they say has been deliberately disregarded. Even more concerning to the family is the government's prior knowledge of the situation. According to their legal claim, the Zambian government was aware as early as June 18 that the late president's remains would not be returned to Zambia by the date they insisted upon. Yet, they chose to delay their legal response until the final hours. This delay, the family asserts, not only led to financial strain but compounded the family's grief and suffering. They are now seeking a punitive cost order against the Zambian state, a legal move that, if granted, would compel the government to pay the full financial consequences of its last-minute legal action. In response, the Zambian government has argued that its intervention was guided by a court order issued by Deputy Judge President Aubrey Fago Ledwana, which instructed that the identity of the body must be authenticated before any further actions could be taken. This, they claim, is a matter of legal and procedural necessity. However, the Lungu family has interpreted this move as political overreach, accusing the state of acting in bad faith and using bureaucracy as a tool to override the widow's lawful rights to determine her husband's final resting place. Lungu passed away on June 5 in Pretoria, South Africa. While his family insists he wished to be buried privately in the country where he spent his final days, the Zambian government maintains that, as a former head of state, Lungu must be brought back to Zambia and honored with a full state funeral. This difference in burial preference has now exploded into a full-blown legal conflict that is as much about constitutional rights as it is about public image and political control. The body of the former president remains in a Pretoria funeral parlor, unburied for nearly 2 months, as both sides wait for the High Court's final ruling on August 4. This ruling could determine not only the fate of Lungu's remains but also set a precedent on how such matters involving high-profile figures are handled across borders and amidst complex political dynamics. In the meantime, the Lungu family is holding firm on its demands. They want not only financial accountability from the government but also public recognition that this ordeal has caused them irreparable emotional harm and violated what should have been a moment of dignity, reflection, and closure. If you found this story important or thought-provoking, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more updates, and ring the bell icon to stay notified. Your support helps us keep bringing you the stories that matter.